Welcome to another episode of the Meadows Fireside video series, and today we're going to kind of do a wrap up on the whole joint thing. And obviously this is kind of an endless topic, and trying to cover all of the bases are a little challenging. So one of the things that I would like to kind of talk about, though, is this idea of the type of product that you need. I think a lot of people immediately grab or go for the product that has everything in it. It's got the MSM, it's got the HA, it's got the glucosamine, it's got the chondroitin, all of these products, and oftentimes that is going to be more than the horse necessarily needs, particularly if we're talking about feeding it on a sort of prophylactic basis, trying to reduce the risk of a problem, or even in the early stages of an issue with the horse's joints. And I think good evidence of that coming on the screen now, going back all the way back to 1997, one of the first joint supplement reviews that Horse Journal did. And in this piece, you can see, on the recommended products, Gram Flex, which was our sort of basic, just glucosamine and the right cofactors product, was seen to have very good effect. And I talked a little bit in a couple of videos ago about the importance of not just having the nutraceutical, that you need to have certain minerals, amino acids and vitamins. And if you look at the last paragraph on that first column, specifically they address that it does, the product contained all of those elements. If we move to the next page, this was a follow-up article to the 1997. This was in 1999, and it was pretty interesting because again, this wasn't clinical research. This was done at Horse Journal, but talking about horses that had been on the product for a year and 18 months and having their joint fluid tested and seeing an improvement in the content and viscosity of the joint fluid. This piece, I think, is important because it illustrates what I'm trying to get across, that you may not necessarily need to, again, spend a lot of money on a nutraceutical that may be more than you necessarily need. The other thing, I obviously didn't talk about all of the different ingredients that are being used as the primary active, things like cetyl myristoyl, avocado sapophenoibles, permamuscle, and I think the key with that is, there's very few products with those ingredients. I think there's 2 with the avocado sapophenoibles, there's 2 or 3 with the cetyl myristoyl. Permamuscle used to be quite a bit bigger a few years ago, but seems to have sort of died out. I believe there's only 2 or 3 products out there containing permamuscle. There was always some palatability issues as well with that, because it sort of had a marine odor quite often, so palatability was a problem. So basically, in wrapping up, trying to wrap up this whole idea of joint supplements, the takeaway that I'd like you to get from this is, obviously, number one, make sure that those products have all the cofactors, and number 2, don't necessarily reach for the product that has the most ingredients and the highest levels, because it may not be necessary. We're happy to field your questions in that regard. Perhaps you have a horse that's in this condition. What would be a good approach? So we'd certainly be happy to respond to any questions that you might have about that. And I really hope these last, I think it's 3 or 4 videos I've done on joints, is going to shed some light on, I think, what is a fairly confusing and certainly a saturated category in the supplements business. We're going to be starting on digestion next, which to me is certainly as or even more important than joint supplements, and again will probably be a 3 or 4 video segment because there's quite a lot to talk about, and I'll look forward to speaking with you then. Thanks. Bye.